This is Everyday Tension. Real stories based on real experiences about everyday conflicts people rarely talk about. This story was shared anonymously. If you'd like, you can support the channel by liking or subscribing and let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Here's what happened.
It started over a salad. That's what gets me. After 13 years of marriage, after all the quiet dinners and tense holidays and backhanded compliments, the thing that finally broke it all wide open was me putting olives in a potato salad. Teresa, my mother-in-law, was over for a Sunday barbecue. Josh had invited her, like he always did, and I'd said okay, like I always did. Anna, our 12-year-old, was showing her a drawing she'd made at school. I was in the kitchen, finishing up the sides. I'd made my mum's old potato salad recipe, the one with the dill and the sweet pickles. I'd added a handful of chopped Kalamata olives, because I had them in the fridge, and I thought it would be nice. A little salty, different. I brought the bowl out to the table on the deck. Teresa was setting out plates. She looked into the bowl, her lips pinched. "What are those black things?" she asked. "Olives," I said. "Kalamata." I thought it would be good. "Olives in potato salad," she said. It wasn't a question. It was a statement of profound disappointment. "Who puts olives in potato salad?" "I do," I said, trying to keep my voice light. Just trying something new. "It's not right," she said, shaking her head. She picked up a serving spoon and started carefully picking around the olive pieces, scooping only the plain potato and egg onto her plate. "You ruin a perfectly good dish with these foreign things." It's unnecessary. Something in me, a wire that had been pulled taut for over a decade, snapped. It wasn't about the olives. It was about the way she said foreign. It was about the careful, deliberate way she picked my addition out, as if it were contaminated. It was about every comment on my hair being too dark, my cooking being too bland or too spicy, my job being cute, my family being loud. "For God's sake, Teresa," I said, my voice louder than I intended. Josh looked up from the grill. Anna stopped talking. "It's a handful of olives. If you don't like them, don't eat them. But you don't have to perform a surgery on the entire bowl to make a point." "I'm not making a point," she said, her eyes cold. "I simply prefer food to be made correctly. There's a way things are done. You've never understood that. You just barge in and change things, thinking your way is better. Maybe it is better," I shot back. My heart was hammering. "Maybe the way you've always done everything isn't the only way, or the right way. Maybe Josh married me because he wanted something different from the life you had planned for him." The air went still. Josh said, "Donna, come on. It's just salad." But it wasn't. We all knew it wasn't. Teresa put the spoon down with a sharp clink against the glass bowl. "Planned for him?" she said, her voice low and venomous. "You have no idea what was planned. You have no idea about anything. You've always been so oblivious, so foolish, so wrapped up in your little fantasy that you never saw what was right in front of your face." "What are you talking about?" I asked. My anger was mixing with a cold trickle of dread. She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw pure, unshielded hatred in her eyes. All the polite masks were gone. "You really are a fool. All these years, and you never wondered. You never once looked at your own daughter and wondered." I followed her gaze to Anna, who was staring at us, her blue eyes wide with confusion and fear. "My beautiful girl, my sunshine." "Wondered what?" My voice was a whisper. "She doesn't look like you," Teresa said, each word a deliberate stab. "She never has. You're dark. Josh is dark. And yet there she is, golden hair, curls, those blue eyes. She's a carbon copy, A perfect little replica. A replica of who? Josh's voice was sharp, warning. Mum, stop it. But she couldn't stop. It was like a dam had broken. 13 years of seething resentment was pouring out. Of Jennifer, she spat, looking right at me. She looks exactly like Jennifer. Have you really never seen a picture? My son's one true love? The woman he should have married? The woman I wanted him to marry? Your daughter has her hair, her eyes, her smile. And you, in your stupidity, never once questioned it. The world tilted. The deck, the grill smoke, the bowl of potato salad with the offending olives, it all swam. Jennifer. The name was a ghost in our marriage. Josh had dated her for 3 years in his late 20s. He told me about her early on, said it was serious but didn't work out. He'd said she was nice. That was it. I'd found an old photo album once, tucked in a box in the basement. A woman with a cloud of blonde curls laughing, her arm around a younger Josh. Pretty, vibrant. I'd closed the album and never mentioned it. Teresa, though, mentioned her. Often. Jennifer was so graceful. Jennifer came from such a good family. Jennifer would have known not to use that fabric for curtains. I learned to tune it out. Now, I looked at Anna. Really looked. I saw my daughter, the child I carried for 9 months, the baby I rocked, the little girl whose knee I bandaged. But superimposed over her familiar face, I saw the woman from the photograph. The blue eyes, the specific arch of the eyebrow. It wasn't just a passing resemblance. It was specific, a detail you wouldn't notice unless someone pointed it out. But once they did, it was all you could see. That's insane, I said, but my voice lacked force. It was a weak protest against a tidal wave of nausea. You're crazy. You're just saying this to hurt me. Am I? She said, almost smiling now, enjoying the devastation. Ask your husband. Ask him about the IVF. Ask him whose egg you carried. The word IVF hit me like a physical blow. It was our private history, our struggle. It wasn't for her to weaponize. Josh was by my side in an instant. Mom, get out. Get out of my house. Now. Why? She shrieked. Why should I? She deserves to know. She deserves to know how you and I fixed her little problem. How we made sure your child would have the best possible genes, since hers were clearly defective. We gave you a perfect child, and this is the thanks I get? Criticism over a potato salad? The words swarmed around me like wasps. Defective, her genes, we, you and I. Anna started to cry. Mom, Dad! Go inside, sweetheart, Josh said, his voice strained. Go to your room for a minute, please. Anna ran inside, sliding the deck door shut behind her. I was left standing there, facing my husband and his mother. It's not true, I said to Josh. My hands were shaking. Tell me it's not true. He couldn't look at me. He looked at the ground, his shoulders slumped. That silence, that inability to meet my eye, told me everything. Teresa filled the silence. You couldn't conceive. For years. My son was desperate for a family. You were a failure. So I suggested donor eggs, a practical solution. He agreed, but we needed a quality donor, a healthy, intelligent girl with good lineage. Jennifer was perfect. She was willing. She did it as a favor to Josh, for their past history. And you naive thing, you just went along with it. You signed the papers without reading a thing, so happy to finally be pregnant. You carried Jennifer's child. You raised Jennifer's child. And you never had a clue. I think I might have vomited then, but there was nothing in my stomach. I leaned against the deck railing, the wood rough under my palms. Josh finally spoke. It wasn't like that, he said, his voice hollow. Donna, listen to me. It wasn't some conspiracy. We were struggling. The doctor said donor eggs were our best chance. When we talked about a donor, my mom, she mentioned Jennifer. She said Jennifer had offered years before when she heard we were having trouble. As a friend, I thought about it. I knew her. I knew she was smart, healthy, kind. It felt safer than a complete stranger. It felt like we could trust the source. It was a medical decision, a pragmatic one. Pragmatic, I repeated. The word tasted like ash. Yes, I wanted a child with you. I wanted us to be parents. The biology of the egg, it didn't matter to me. It was just a cell. You were the one who would be the mother. You were the one who would carry her, birth her, raise her. That's what mattered. You lied to me. I didn't lie. The clinic had the information. You could have accessed it. You let me believe it was an anonymous donor. You told me it was an anonymous donor from the agency database. You said it was some college student who needed the money. I know what I said. He ran a hand through his hair. I thought it would be easier. I thought knowing it was someone I knew, someone from my past, it would complicate things, make you insecure. I was trying to protect you, to protect our family. You were protecting yourself, I said. The numbness was receding, replaced by a clear, sharp agony, and you were doing what she wanted. I pointed a trembling finger at Teresa, who stood watching us, a look of grim satisfaction on her face. This was her plan all along, wasn't it? To get Jennifer's child into your life, since she couldn't get Jennifer herself, and you went along with it. It wasn't like that, he insisted, but the conviction was gone. He just sounded tired. It was just a solution. It worked. We got Anna. She's amazing. She's ours. Nothing else matters. But it did matter. It mattered more than anything. The foundation of our family of the last 13 years was not what I believed it to be. The story I told myself of our struggle, our scientific solution, our miracle baby, was a lie. In its place was a story of collusion and deceit. My husband and his mother had made a fundamental decision about the creation of our child, and they had deliberately kept me in the dark. They had chosen the genetic mother of my child, and it was the woman my mother-in-law had always preferred, the ghost who had haunted the edges of my marriage. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just felt very, very cold. I looked at Josh, this man I had loved and trusted for over half my life, and I saw a stranger. I need you to leave, I said to Teresa, my voice surprisingly steady. Gladly, she sniffed. She picked up her purse and walked through the house to the front door without another word. We heard it slam. Then, it was just Josh and me on the deck. The burgers were burning on the grill, sending up acrid smoke. You have to understand, he began. I don't have to do anything, I said. I'm taking Anna. We're going to my sister's. I need to not be here. Donna, please. This is our home. She's our daughter. Is she? The question came out before I could stop it. It was a terrible question, an unfair one, but it was there, born of the shock. Biologically, she's yours and Jennifer's. I was just the vessel, the incubator. That's how your mother sees it. Is that how you see it too? He looked horrified. No, God, no, never. You are her mother in every way that counts. But you let the most important way, the truth, be a secret. You let me build my motherhood on a lie. I turned and walked into the house. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. Packing a bag was a mechanical act. Toothbrush, clothes for a few days, Anna's favorite stuffed rabbit. Anna was sitting on her bed, her face tear-streaked. "Are you and Dad getting a divorce?" she asked. "I don't know, honey," I said, which was the truth. "We just need some time to think. We're going to stay without Laura for a little bit." "Is it because of Grandma? Because of what she said?" I sat on the bed beside her, pulling her into a hug. She smelled like sunshine and grass. "My daughter, Grandma said some very hurtful things. Things that change how I see some stuff. It's between me and Dad. It's not your fault." "None of this is your fault. You are the best thing in my life. You know that, right?" She nodded into my shoulder. "I don't like it when you fight." "I know, sweetie. I don't like it either." The drive to my sister Laura's was quiet. Anna fell asleep in the passenger seat. I replayed the argument in my head. Each line of dialogue, each revelation. The olives. It was so stupid. All these years of tension, and it came down to olives in a potato salad. But maybe that's how these things happen. The big secrets don't come out during earthquakes. They slip out during the tiniest cracks of everyday irritation. Laura's guest room was familiar and safe. She asked no questions that first night, just made up the bed and ordered pizza. I was grateful. The next day, after she took Anna to the park, I told her everything. The whole ugly story. She listened, her face growing pale. "My God, Donna, my God," she said when I finished. I don't even have a word for it. It's monstrous. How could he? He says it was pragmatic," I said, staring at my coffee. "He says he was trying to protect me from insecurity." "Bullshit," Laura said flatly. "He was protecting himself from a difficult conversation, and he was appeasing his horrible mother. That woman has always been a piece of work, but this is next level." "What do I do?" I asked. It was the question that had been circling my mind all night, a frantic, trapped bird. "I don't know," Laura admitted. "This isn't like he forgot your anniversary. This is foundational. It's about trust. It's about autonomy. He took a choice away from you. A huge one." Josh called that afternoon. I didn't answer. He texted, "Please talk to me. We need to figure this out. Anna needs us." He was right. Anna did need us. But I didn't know what us was anymore. I texted back, "I need time. Don't come here." A few days later, I agreed to meet him at a neutral place, a coffee shop downtown. Anna was with Laura. He looked awful, unshaven, shadows under his eyes. I probably didn't look much better. He talked for a long time. He repeated that it was a clinical decision. He said he never saw Jennifer after the donation, that it was a one-time thing handled through the clinic. He said he regretted not telling me, but at the time, it felt like the right way to spare my feelings. He said his mother had pushed, yes, but the final decision was his, and he made it for our family. "Did you ever think," I asked slowly, "that maybe I would have wanted to know? That maybe I had a right to know the genetic origin of the child I was going to carry? That it wasn't just a cell to me? That the story of where she came from would matter to her someday? I thought it would just be a source of pain," he said. "I thought you'd compare yourself to Jennifer. I knew you'd heard Mom talk about her. I didn't want that for you. So you decided for me, you and your mom. You decided what I could and couldn't handle. You decided what truth I deserved." I shook my head. "That's not protection, Josh. That's condescension. That's control." "What do you want me to say?" he asked, frustration edging into his voice. "That I'm sorry. I am. I'm so sorry, but I can't change it. Anna is here. She's wonderful. Can't we just move forward?" "For her? Move forward to what?" I asked. "To me pretending I don't know? To me sitting across from your mother at Thanksgiving, knowing what she did? Knowing that she looks at my daughter and sees her victory? I can't do that. Then we'll limit contact with her. Sever it, if that's what you want." It's too late for that, I said. The knowledge is in me now. It's changed everything. When I look at Anna, I trailed off. His face tightened. Do you feel differently about her? No, I said immediately, and it was the one pure truth in this whole mess. No, I don't. She's my daughter. I love her exactly the same. But when I look at her, I see the lie now. I see the secret. I see your mother's smug face. I see a choice I didn't get to make. It's a filter over everything. I don't know if it will ever go away. We sat in silence for a long time. The coffee grew cold in our cups. So what happens now? He finally asked. I don't know, I said. I need to live separately, for a while. I need to think. I need to figure out if I can ever trust you again. I need to figure out how to be Anna's mother with this new reality. He nodded, looking defeated. Okay. Take the time you need. I'll stay at the house. You and Anna, stay with Laura, as long as you want. I'll cover everything. It felt like a business arrangement, a severance package. We were negotiating the terms of our fracture. That was 3 months ago. I found an apartment, a small 2-bedroom, not far from Laura. Anna and I moved in. She started at a new school. She asks about her dad often. She sees him every weekend. They go to movies, out for pizza. He's a good father. He always has been. That part wasn't a lie. The hard pup, even though there's a disconnect feeling, pucking another back from her forehead. I look at her features, and I can see it so clearly. The shape of her eyes, the exact shade of blue, the way her hair curls at the ends. I look for myself in her, and I find so little. It's a strange, lonely feeling. It doesn't diminish my love, but it adds a layer of grief. A grief for the story I lost. I feel cheated, not of my daughter, but of the narrative of her origin. I feel like a character in a story someone else wrote. Josh and I talk sometimes, on the phone. It's polite, strained. We talk about Anna's school, her dentist appointment, her soccer schedule. We don't talk about us. We don't talk about Teresa. We don't talk about Jennifer. I know he stopped speaking to his mother. Laura heard it from a mutual acquaintance. He told her she destroyed his family and he wanted nothing more to do with her. I should feel vindicated by that, but I don't. It just feels like more fallout, more wreckage. I think about Jennifer sometimes, a woman I've never met. Does she think about Anna? Did she ever wonder what happened to her donated egg? Does she have children of her own? The clinic would have guaranteed her anonymity from us, but Josh and Teresa knew. They broke that wall. I have this irrational anger towards her, which isn't fair. She probably thought she was helping an old friend. She didn't know his wife would be kept in the dark. But I'm angry anyway. I'm angry at her for existing. I'm angry at her for being the quality donor. I'm angry at her blonde hair and blue eyes. Mostly, I'm just tired. Tired of the constant mental loop. Tired of the hurt. Tired of trying to reconcile the man I loved with the man who could do this. People ask how I'm doing. Laura asks. My mum asks. I say I'm okay. I'm getting by. And I am. I go to work. I make dinner. I help Anna with her homework. Life goes on in its mundane way. But something is broken. Maybe it's my trust. Maybe it's my idea of my own marriage. Maybe it's my sense of reality. I look at my family photo on the mantle, the three of us, smiling at the camera on a beach vacation 2 years ago, and it feels like a photograph of different people. A happy family that never really existed in the way I thought it did. Josh asked me last week, during a phone call about a parent-teacher conference, if I was seeing a therapist. I told him I was. He said he was too. He said he was trying to understand why he made the choices he did. He said he was sorry, again. I believe he is sorry. But sorry doesn't rebuild what was shattered. Sorry doesn't unknow what I know. Anna asked me yesterday when we were going home, back to our house with Dad. I didn't have an answer. I said we'd see. She's starting to understand that we'll see often means no, but she's holding out hope. She's 12. She wants her family back together. I want that too, in a way. I want the simplicity of before, but before is gone. It was an illusion. I don't know what comes next. Divorce feels like a failure, a confirmation that Teresa and her nasty secret won. Reconciliation feels impossible, like trying to glue a shattered vase back together. The pieces might fit, but the cracks will always show, and it will never hold water again. So I live in this in-between space, this apartment, this new routine, this life where I am a mother to a daughter whose biological origin is a source of pain, and the wife of a man who feels like a stranger. It started over a salad, a stupid, simple thing, and it ended with my life in pieces on the floor. I pick them up every day. I keep going for Anna, but some nights, after she's asleep, I sit in the quiet living room and I just stare at the wall. I think about olives and egg donors and blonde hair and the choices other people make for you. I think about how you can know someone for 13 years and still not know them at all. And I wonder if the feeling in my chest, this hollow, aching weight, will ever really go away.